Welcome back to Robbo's Retreats. Before we give you any information about the next retreat, I think we've got some exciting news.
Also some slightly sad news.
But it's exciting.
Yeah. You may notice that we're not in the caravan. We have, in fact, sold the caravan. Ruby has left us. And that was a very sad day because we did love the caravan.
Yeah.
But she's gone. And we are now in our new... What's the word?
Motorhome?
Vehicle of choice.
Yeah.
We have a motorhome.
Yes. So,
We decided...
how did we get to this point then, babe?
I think you got us to this point.
Me?
We kind of made the decision that caravan life wasn't really what we wanted, was it? We were a bit restricted with it.
I think that was more the case, is that it was the restrictions of caravan ownership that was the right. So
well, what happened?
Let's
how
start
this
from the
started
beginning.
was we bought the caravan about 18 months ago.
Yeah, it's probably 2 years ago now.
And I started looking for campsite reviews on YouTube, and pretty much that opened up a can of worms, didn't it? And
Yeah.
it opened up the whole
Van
life thing, which we
yeah.
didn't really know was a thing particularly, did we? It wasn't on our radar.
It wasn't on our radar, really. We'd seen motorhomes, hadn't we, at the campsites and stuff that we'd been to. But we didn't... I mean, the whole van conversion thing and the people living in vans and that, all that sort of stuff was really not something that we looked into.
But then, obviously, the more we watched, the more we liked the idea of that freedom, wasn't
There's a lot
it, really?
of YouTubers we should blame for this, really,
Yeah,
as opposed
there
to
is
ourselves.
quite a lot. But we wanted the freedom to be able to just, especially when it's just the two of us and we get to leave the kids behind, the freedom to just pack up on a Friday night and just go without having to book in weeks in advance as well.
Yeah.
And we can just go.
Well,
places.
and the other thing was, I was getting annoyed that obviously when you're towing a caravan, when you leave a campsite, you pretty much have to go home, because it's not like you can just pull up to a car park with a caravan on and just stop and go out and do something. So once you leave your campsite with
You've
a
got
caravan,
to go home, haven't you?
you pretty much got to go straight home.
Yeah.
Whereas it's not something you have to do with a van or a motorhome, really, because you can actually park them. I mean, they are still big, but they're not as big and cumbersome as trying to tow a 7.5 metre caravan round on the back of a 6 metre vehicle.
So initially our thoughts were to do a van build, weren't they?
Yeah.
That's what we were thinking.
That's pretty much what we were looking at.
And we watched about 1 million van build videos.
Yes. Yep.
And I don't know, how did we get here? We spent this hasn't come about quickly. We've been looking for a long time at motorhomes. We've been to just about every dealer around us, haven't we?
We were looking. I think when we went to the motorhome places, we were looking at vans because we were looking at layouts. But because we were looking at motorhomes, we were also looking at motorhome layouts, and we kind of got to a point where we knew what layout we were looking for in a van or in a
Yeah, we did know. Yeah.
So we'd kind of got. And it was still, at that time, I think at that point we were still talking about van conversion. But I think we were looking at costs then, weren't we, really?
Yeah, well, we went round all the ones in Northamptonshire, which is
and some.
Spinney. We went up to Brown Hills, didn't we? And looked at Loudons in Newark, or...
Yeah.
We travelled far and wide looking at motorhomes. Every time we were away somewhere, we'd go to the local motorhome place as well. But in all honesty, everything was just so ridiculously out of our price range.
Yeah, I mean,
Ridiculously out of our price range.
Yeah, I mean, they are expensive.
So
Let's not beat around the bush.
the van conversion was one of the
It was the cheap
more
option,
affordable
really, wasn't
option.
it? Which is why everybody else does it.
And we were looking at a lot of new motorhomes.
Yeah.
And none of them had really got what we wanted, had they? And then I just said one day, we have to stop looking at motorhomes. We either need to buy
Buy a van and get on with it.
Yeah, buy a van and convert it.
Yeah.
Or we would go for an old style motorhome.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day in my daily searches came up this 20-year-old Swift Contiki at a local dealer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we went along to have a look at it.
A localish. What was it, Melton Mowbray?
Yeah, it was about 40-minute drive, wasn't it?
Yeah,
It wasn't Melton Mowbray at all. It was Middleton Cheney.
I knew that. I was just
It's the opposite direction.
Yeah. I knew which one.
But we went to have a look at it, and we got inside, and we were like, "Oh, this is actually really cool. This has got all the space we needed, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's got enough space for the two of us and the children, if and when they want to come along. And it still felt reasonably modern, didn't it? For a 20-year-old van, we were a bit like, oh, this is a bit more us, isn't it? I think a lot of the newer vans, to me, feel a bit cold and clinical. Everything's very
white.
black and white and shiny, and there's not a lot of personality in the soft furnishings, is there? And this is obviously the style that we prefer, isn't it? But off the back of seeing that other one, we then had to we decided, didn't we, after seeing that we were going to sell the caravan.
Yeah.
So we came home, put the caravan up for sale.
Yeah.
And how long did it take to sell it? About 2 to 3 weeks, if that?
It was 2 weeks and a day.
Yeah. And then
bizarrely,
within that time, we were looking
at
that
the same
particular
model,
weren't we? I think you saw one on Auto Trader, didn't you?
Yeah.
And then we found one on eBay, didn't we? So we went down to have a look at this one on eBay down in Epping, wasn't it? And we got there. And
on an overcast day.
It was a cold, grey day, wasn't it? It was in a like a yard.
It was on an industrial yard.
It wasn't in a prepared to sell condition.
No.
It was dirty. It smelt a bit doggy, didn't it?
Yeah.
And we both walked in and we were like, oh no.
I was, in all honesty, I was disappointed because I was expecting more.
I thought we were going to go home empty-handed.
Yeah, I was disappointed at that point because I was a bit.
But I stayed inside for a little bit, and Ian walked around the outside and did things that men do and looked at things. And when he came back in, I was a bit like, look, this has got everything we need in it. It's got everything that we saw in that other one that we wanted. Yeah. And this one's a lot cheaper.
It was
plus
literally 25% cheaper.
This one also had the benefit of the these centre console drawers, which the other one didn't have. Yeah. And we've got the option to have the extra cushions in, which we've got, haven't we? So we can use the extra
cushions. So it can
cushions.
Be a U-shape.
But also the colour scheme in here is more browns and neutrals, which is like we had in the caravan, isn't it? Yeah. And it came with curtains as well. The other one didn't even have curtains, did it?
No.
So this had more. It had more than what the other one had got.
Yeah.
Like we say, it was 25% cheaper.
Yeah.
So we came home with it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, basically, I opened one of the cupboards, and there was a pile of paperwork that probably, 15 centimetres tall.
Well, we didn't know what we were getting with this. That's the thing. We weren't sold a history, were we?
No. The advert was very basic. So when I opened a cupboard and there was 6 inches of paperwork, when I started looking through the paperwork, there was 19 service histories for a 20-year-old van. There was 19 MOT certificates for a 20-year-old van. There was insurance certificates. There was
receipts for all the tyres, wasn't there?
Tyres, receipts for stuff that the previous owner had bought in Spain and in France. And I mean, literally, there was an entire history of the van. There was the original buying documents. The original spec documents were in it still, the tick box specs. And
everything was there, wasn't it?
I was a bit like, wow.
We've got more than we bargained for.
Whoever had this before really kind of looked after it.
Yeah.
But
when we got it home, actually the sun had come out by the time we got home, hadn't it? So when it was parked on the driveway, we pretty much set about cleaning it straight away, didn't we? And we gave it a good thorough scrub.
Yeah, I mean, it's had some dinks.
With the carpets have all been washed, haven't they? The curtains all came out and were washed. And we came back in later on that afternoon, and it just felt like a different van altogether, didn't it?
Very much so.
It just changed completely from the van we saw earlier that morning. So we're really happy with it now, aren't we?
Yes.
We have made some upgrades, modifications.
Yep.
We've got all our bits in here now. We've made it feel like home, haven't we?
Yep. Yeah.
But yeah, we've done a few bits to it.
So obviously we'll give you a bit of a van tour when we get to where we're going. Which I suppose we ought to tell you where we're going. Where are we going?
We are going to
Lady Margaret's
in Chirk, which is near Wrexham, isn't it?
So the plan, as it stands, is to go.
We're going to go on the Friday night.
Oh yes,
aren't we?
to go. So basically, on Friday night we're going to do a Brit stop, and stay at a pub in Telford, just outside of Telford.
It's called the Mill at
The Mill,
Leighton,
that's
I think,
right, yes.
isn't it? The Mill.
So we can stay at the Mill at Leighton on the Friday night, and see how that goes. That's our first night.
Yep. We're going to go for. We've already got tickets booked. We've got. We're going to go to the Shropshire Sculpture Park at the British Ironworks Museum.
Yep.
So hopefully we'll get in the car park there, all right.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then
I have looked on Google Maps. It does look like there is. It's got quite a big car park.
Well, that's the other thing we're going to have to figure out, isn't it? Is where we can and can't go, like what height restrictions there are on places, and we're going to have to do a bit more planning, perhaps.
Yeah, to a degree. I mean, we can always turn around. But,
So we'll be. Be at
and then we're at Lady Margaret's for 3 days,
for
2 days,
3 days.
2 or 3 days.
Yeah, should be nice.
So we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's really kind of a shakedown to figure out. I mean, obviously with the caravan, we knew what we had. We knew what we'd caravan before, so we knew what we had. We knew what we needed. Whereas with this, it's a bit of. It's not different because it's got a lot of the same things. It's just that with this we've got onboard water, we've got onboard waste,
and we want to utilise all that as well, don't we?
Yeah, but it's figuring out. It's like any new vehicle. It's figuring out what buttons do what. How things work.
How much things rattle.
Yeah, make sure all the bits work that are in here. Just simple things like making sure the cooker's working and the toilet flush works and all just the simple.
But and also
bits.
just making things work for us as well, how we want them to be. So we'll give you a full van tour when we get to Lady Margaret's. Give me a van tour when we get to there and show you around. But for now, this was really just to say that
Yeah, so we won't do the van tour. Friday, the Brit stop, because obviously it'll be dark. I imagine we won't get there till quite late.
No, we'll do it when we're at Lady Margaret's.
Yeah, we'll do it when we get to Lady Margaret's, which is the caravan and motorhome club site.
Yeah. But so we've jumped.
So there you go.
There's
a history tour in one.
Jumped off the caravanning bandwagon, and we're now motorhomers.
Yes. Yeah. And we'll see how it goes. Because it's very different. It feels very different. Weirdly, we said this earlier, it feels bigger
Yeah, it feels like we've got a much bigger living area, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? I mean, bearing in mind we had, it's a very similar design to a caravan with having these two side seats
And I
in the
think
back.
that's why we liked it to start with, isn't it?
But it does feel like there's a lot more room.
Yeah, it's a lot wider. It's definitely wider.
Is it really?
Yeah, definitely. I can't get my feet up as well from one side to the other in this as I could in the caravan. The caravan seats were much closer together.
They were closer together.
And
yeah,
this
that's
set
why
of drawers is much wider.
That's why it does.
But this
feel
obviously
bigger.
we're in the back of the motorhome, so this is like a big boxy
It is a
end,
big box,
isn't it?
yeah.
And it's just got so much more height in it than the caravan had as well. I mean, these cupboards above here, you don't.
Are they, do you
they're
think?
they're much more spacious
Are they?
than the caravan. Yeah, the caravan cupboards were really quite tiny in comparison.
Well,
But yeah, I feel like we've got a lot of space in here.
so we will find out,
Yes,
and we will let you know.
we'll see you. We'll see you in Wrexham, or
Yeah.
well, not Wrexham, but Chirk.
For us, it'll be a while. For you, it'll be in a couple of seconds.
Yep. See you soon.
See you in a bit.
Bye.
Goodbye. Good morning. We've just woken up outside our first Brit stop, which is the mill at Leighton, which is this building behind me, just here. There's a couple of the vans here. It was very quiet night. The birds are tweeting now. It did rain overnight, but it was very quiet in the car park. We had a lovely meal, which I've got some footage of, which I may have already put in. If not, I'll put it in now. Hello.
Good morning. Right, so for a first Brit stop, this one's a pretty good one for me because we're surrounded by nature. It's a good job I brought my bird food with me because out the window we have, excuse the bike back, a lovely woodland area. And this morning we woke up to 2 pheasants just down here. And we've been listening to the birds all night, the owls hooting away, the dawn chorus, which was quite loud, let's put it that way. But yeah, as far as Brit stops go, this is our first Brit stop. It was really quiet and we've had a really lovely night, haven't we?
Yep. And where are we going today?
We are off to Shrewsbury. We're going to the sculpture park at the British Ironworks Centre.
Yes.
And if you have seen the British Ironworks Centre on Instagram, you will know that they do have a very good cafe. And that's not what's making us go there at all. So
always a bonus.
we'll pick you up later.
Alrighty.
Ooh, look at that.
Wow.
Cool things.
Where do we go?
Around this way.
That's pretty cool.
Sculptures from around the world on display here. Look, that looks like King Kong over there. Knife Angel. Ralphie's.
Anubis.
Ooh, look at the dragon. Cool.
We've arrived at the British Ironworks Centre, and there is hundreds of models outside, which is incredible.
Hey, it's Pumba.
Yes. But they're all made up. If I show you Pumba, hold on.
It's very clockwork steampunk style, isn't it? Everything.
Yeah, I mean they're all made out of small pieces, which is fantastic.
A lot of work and time has gone into those, hasn't it? The whole place.
But we'll show you some of the bits that we're wandering around.
Hey, it's King Julian. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. I was waiting for you to sing it. Can we have this one for the garden?
I think that might be a little too small for what we need. Cool, busy.
Onwards to Lady Margaret's Caravan Club site.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done.